Hey everybody, it's Jason. We're about to get into the episode with the fantastic Stuart Goldsmith. He hosts one of my favorite podcasts. It is easily the smartest podcast about comedy out there, called The Comedian's Comedian. And I just want to apologize. I've banked a lot of episodes, so what you're hearing, these go back several months. This one is at the time of LA Podfest. Stuart came all the way over from England to do LA Podfest, and then politely took a little bit of time. He did The Dork Forest, he did Never Not Funny, and then he did my show. So, I'm honored that he did it, but I feel very bad that it took this long to come out. You guys need to subscribe to his show. I don't know if it's still up, but he had a holiday special that was his latest comedy special, and it's brilliant, and hopefully it's still up. If not, well, then you didn't subscribe in time, and it's for those of us who love his show and love his comedy. He is really a brilliant comedian as well, so please enjoy this episode. I should also point out, on Instagram, you're going to be able to see 1-minute previews of a new series that I'm doing every day this year for all of 2017. I'm listening to a comedy album that most of them that I haven't heard before, some of them will be revisiting, but I do I'll talk about them. I'd call them reviews, but I'm not necessarily going out of my way to review them, but I am talking about them after having just freshly listened to them. I've done 3 so far. Again, 1 a day. You'll see a 1-minute preview on Instagram, and the full thing goes up on YouTube, youtube.com/comedyonvinyl. Hashtagging it comedy album a day. It would be really helpful if you'd help spread the word about that. And I guess that's about it. Trying to think. The only other thing is, and I probably have mentioned this before, but I released the smallest comedy album in the world. Released is a strong word for it. We had it created by the people in a position to know for my comedy group, Dan and Jay's Comedy Hour. If you go to danandjay.com, you can find that. And I guess that's about it. So without any further ado, this is the wonderful, the very kind and patient Stuart Goldsmith. Oh, and one more thing. He was actually in our fake BBC special for Dan and Jay's Comedy Hour before this episode ever came out. That's how nice he is. So go listen to his podcast, and now listen to this damn episode. Thank you. And one other thing. I'm a bit of a mushmouth at one point in this. I mean, I'm usually a bit of a mushmouth. I totally fuck up a line, okay? When we get to it, you'll hear it. I say news waiter, which is not a word. I mean to say newsreader. You'll know the line when I get there. That said, Stuart was a sport and followed along and knew exactly what I meant. But I've just noticed it listening to it. I sound like, Anyway, enjoy. I'm Jason Klamm, and this is the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. The year is 1981. The album, Hedgehog Sandwich. The artist is not the 9 o'clock news, which is a lot of English folks. My guest is Stuart Goldsmith. Thank you for doing the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. I've never been to Burbank before, much less ever seen a Smothers Brothers LP on the wall. This place is incredible. It's like I feel like you're a comedy archaeologist.
That's a nice way to look at it. I call it a hoarder. That's okay though.
Yeah, well, there's traces of it. As long as there's no kind of Easter egg boxes. Right. I don't think you're technically hoarding.
Right. This is what we're going through right now. Like I said, we're working on it.
Yeah.
And it's my problem. Most of this garbage is me.
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds reasonable.
It's fun garbage, though.
It's fun garbage. It's got real character. Right? I mean, there's a lot more Lego than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a 36-year-old man to have in his apartment? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit much.
Well, it speaks to someone who has got, you clearly enjoy a project. And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's true. I'll take it. I do have, So I was not disappointed that you picked the 9 o'clock news.
Yeah.
I was disappointed, of course, that I didn't own the one that you picked.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
How dare you?
I have heard the one that you've got that you're pointing at. Should I just read the back of it and just see? Because I will definitely recognize
comparatively. Do you remember how these compare?
Yes, I do. Let's see. General Synod's Life of Python. I remember that sketch. Mm-hmm. There's a man in Iran that I can't resist. The Ayatollah song. I remember that one. This really was like 81. Are we? I mean, so
yeah, that one's 80. The one we're talking about today is 81. So we're a year.
Yes.
A year between. Jeez.
So this is I mean, I'd have been. I'm 39. I was born in 77. Mm-hmm. So obviously, when the Hedgehog Sandwich, which is a compilation of existing, basically there were two series, I think, of Not the 9 O'Clock News.
Okay.
The first one is widely regarded as being not very good. There's different cast members changes, and then the second one is that's the series. That's how people think of the show.
Right.
And this is a really peculiar one for me to do because. I was a kid when I wasn't 4. I must have been like 9 when I kind of did that thing of just looking in your parents' sideboard.
Sure.
Do you have sideboards in the US?
I'm sure we do, and call them something else.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Mm-hmm. So it's like a long cabinet that's low down and is on feet or little legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them. Mm-hmm. So you look through there and you go, oh, look, I'm actually old enough now to take a thing and put it in a machine. Mm-hmm. And I discovered their Hedgehog Sandwich, which is completely out of keeping with either of my parents' comedy tastes. As far as I know, my parents have no interest in comedy whatsoever, so I don't know how it was spirited in there. But it's so I must have been like 7, 8, maybe 9 years old. And the reason I mention this, why this is so peculiar, it's topical comedy.
Oh yeah,
it's super. It's called Not the 9 O'Clock News. It's all topical comedy, and it was. I listened back to it recently. And I didn't understand half of the references. There were funny voices. Rowan Atkinson is on it, being incredible.
Sure.
Mel Smith, Griff Rhys-Jones, Pamela Stephenson, all absolutely brilliant. But a lot of the laughs were from rhythm. And a lot of the laughs were doing that thing that kids do where they understand that there's a joke there.
Yeah.
And I realise now a lot of it I would have been laughing along with because I could tell that the rhythm was funny, the words or the performances were funny. Yeah. And now I listen back and I go, oh, it's a skit about Reagan.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Which I literally no idea.
Of course, yeah. Well, that was at least it was approachable for me. At least the Reagan stuff kind of rung true.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, American politics was fairly big in British news at that time.
Right, understandably, because it's not dissimilar to what we were talking about earlier. You know, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of. I do really obviously delight in the. There's a country song on here, which one of my favorite things is English people doing American accents. Because,
I mean, I listened. I thought this was such a terrible choice because it is absolutely full of English people doing American. The references are either an English person half understanding or trying to spoof Americana.
Yep.
Or the references are so incredibly niche British references.
Oh, yeah.
How will you possibly understand this? I mean, one of my favourite sketches on it is, arguably the best sketch on it, is the bad language sketch.
Yeah.
And in which Pamela Stephenson is hosting a televised debate between Griff Rhys-Jones and Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Atkinson's playing some sort of ecclesiastical figure. And the point he's trying to make is that I think the idea is a satire on the idea that the nanny state is getting upset that people are swearing more and more.
Yeah.
So the comic premise they take is that people are swearing without knowing it. And it's this beautifully performed, and they're the most fruity English swear words that there's literally things like rumpy pumpy and let me balls pizzle Frank about this. And hearing an irate Rowan Atkinson saying, I beg your pardon, wang, and just these, obviously they couldn't use swear words that were actually sweary, so they're the fruitiest, Britishest kind of swearing.
So good. And I know there are one or two, and I wish I listened to this on the way home. So in the car, didn't get to write down, oh fuck, what's that English thing that he just said that I just
of course.
So there's so much that went over my head.
Well, are we assuming that your listeners are going to dig this out and listen to it before they listen to the podcast, or are we hoping that they'll be inspired to?
I hope that both. I mean, the thing is, like, I either or the other. I will put clips in. Like,
great.
Yeah, so every 10 minutes I put clips that YouTube then, if I decide to put this up on YouTube, then they're like, hey, guess what? You can't monetize this
Yes,
anymore.
I was going to say, that sounds delightfully quasi-legal.
Yeah, the thing is, it's basically fair use, and the whole point is buy the fucking album because you're hearing a scratchy piece of shit version of the album in the first place. So it's not, so the hope is, yes, please go buy it. But I also don't know if any of them know, because whenever we have an English guest on, it's always something I've either never heard of or never heard.
Yeah,
and I hope it's inspiring people.
I thought this was remarkable that you actually have a vinyl, not the 9 o'clock news, and this is not. Yeah. This has been opened and played.
Oh yeah. This is like I have got a bunch of these BBC albums because of the few expats who decide they don't want their records anymore. I like to buy them up, and this is something they didn't do over here, and obviously still don't do, but they didn't do over here, which is like, here's a new series of a show. Let's put a compilation on record. Which I mean, same
right.
with
it's
the
quite
money.
A weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know that we did it much
English,
in the UK. I think it's more to do with the fact that there was they couldn't release entire albums. They couldn't release the whole series because some of the things were literally like some topical joke of something that had happened that week and was instantly forgotten.
Sure. And maybe the BBC had erased the tapes before they got a chance to make a record out of it. Anyway,
That's entirely possible. Also, one of the performers in the first series was a guy called Chris Langham, who the BBC are very happy to sweep under the carpet due to some proven... what's a proven allegation? A crime. Due to some sex crime activity.
Okay, I was just going to say... Yeah, okay. Man, they got a lot of that going on. Everybody does, but the BBC, boy, they like to...
Well, I think that's because, being charitable, I think that's
Sure.
because they were sort of the only game in town.
Yeah,
so
of course.
if you were, like, if we imagine that, you know, a certain percentage of people in power exploit that power to do horrible things to young people, then probably that percentage were all spread across only one institution.
Yeah. That's sad.
But it's very difficult. I remember I read something only the other day about the Human League, hugely popular band in the UK in the 70s and 80s. And they were, maybe not 70s, maybe 80s, 90s, but they were on, it just so happened that every episode of Top of the Pops, which is a big sort of hit music show in the UK, hit music show, this is me trying to translate it into quasi-American, it turned out that every single time they appeared on one of those shows, they were introduced by either Dave Lee Travis, now accused. I don't know quite his legal status, but I believe the piece was implying he's a wrong 'un. Or Jimmy Savile, who is the wrongest wrong 'un ever produced by Britain.
Yeah, that was the first one that popped
for
in my head.
a non-mass murderer. He's the absolute top of the non-actual murdering wrong 'uns scale.
Right. So back to the comedy. You understand, we get off of these fucking things all the time. But like the Monty Python one up there is the same kind of thing. I mean, obviously they were popular at the time, but it still just seemed like there's no VHS. Let's give these people some shit because we might not play it again for a while.
Yes,
if
I
ever.
think so.
You know, there are Faulty Towers. You can buy entire Faulty Towers episodes on vinyl, which is amazing.
What?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one side's, they squeeze 25 minutes on either side, so you get 2 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny when you think of, particularly not, as a younger person, me not understanding an awful lot of the barb of the satire, but also you're listening to something that's been written for visual.
Yeah.
There's a sketch on Hedgehog Sandwich which is I think it's called Political Obit, and it's to again I think Pamela Stevenson is the host, so I don't know if that's her being marginalised. I think it probably is, but. It's Mel Smith and Rowan Atkinson having a violent political argument. Oh my God, this guy's, look at, oh God, I'm struggling to remember the exact terminology they're using, but it's something like this is showing up the seedy underbelly at the heart of British politics, and they're absolutely tearing into each other, and then Rowan Atkinson dies, and then this kind of politician, and he just goes, clutches himself and falls on the floor, and then Mel Smith immediately goes, will be sadly missed. And then, so the point of the sketch is politicians, when one of them dies, are only too happy to completely reject all of their previously held opinions. Watching it today on YouTube, I went, oh, he dies.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out, I'm like, it seems like maybe that was what was, but I just, driving home, I almost crashed trying to figure out the fuck was going on.
Yes, I wonder how much of my genesis as a comedian is based on misunderstood. I remember, I have a very vivid memory, God, this only just come back to me, of being in the car, being given a lift to school by my friend Gavin's mum, Rita, and she would his mum and my mum would sort of share child transport duties, and it was on this occasion I was in his car, and I said conversationally some quote from, oh my God, this is okay, Stuart, push through, it's so embarrassing, we just got to push through. It's not the 9 o'clock news sketch, and it's about a miners' strike, right? I couldn't possibly have understood it, but I thought the phrasing was funny, where one of them said, come on gentlemen, be realistic, and it's just that phrase, like, come on gentlemen, be realistic, and I said that during an argument, some childish 8-year-old argument, and I remember Gavin saying, what do you mean? And I had to sort of climb down from it and go, I don't know what I mean. I don't know. I don't think that's relevant or valid. It's not an appropriate place to use this quote. But it's just that thing of being a kid and going, oh, the sound of that is funny. And it made me laugh, and I'll chuck it in. So it could be that the whole basis, certainly the basis for the inspiration behind my career, and obviously there were other things I was into.
Sure.
But That's one of the earliest things I remember laughing at, and it turns out I'd misunderstood all of it. Where does that leave us, Jason? Nowhere good.
We have received a large number of complaints about a sequence you may remember from last week's programme where a hedgehog was seen to be crushed under the wheels of a lorry. The BBC would like to apologise to hedgehog lovers everywhere for any distress caused by this sequence, but would like to point out that the hedgehog used was in fact a stuffed hedgehog, and we feel that we probably exhibited less cruelty to hedgehogs per se than whoever it is who goes around stuffing them. If you know who these people are, then please write to us at this address. We want to know who stuffs hedgehogs. Not the 9 o'clock news, BBC Television Centre, Wood Lane, London, West 12.
One of us is ugly, one of us is cute. One of us you'd like to see in her birthday suit. Two of us write music to a well-have song. Sorry, in translation, that line come out wrong.
This is the same. Well, I mean, the more I think about it, obviously, I've interviewed a number of people about, and this is the same shit that comes up every time.
I'm so glad.
All of us, because we all laugh for animal reasons. One is to get along with the group. I mean, they've proven that monkeys do it for the same reason. Monkeys actually laugh, and they do it for the same reason. It's to fit in. But then we do it because our parents do it. That tends to be, or because there's a fucking audience.
But I'm listening to this record
on your own,
on my own.
There's an audience in there too, though. To be fair,
I'm trying to join in with the ghosts of now dead people laughing in a studio.
Yes, all those people from 1981 must all be dead now.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, I'm assuming they were adults in 1980. Yeah, okay, they're still alive. Okay, you're fine. And at the time when I was listening, they were alive anyway. Yeah, okay, fine.
No, but it's the same thing.
These guys from like 8 years ago.
But it's there are always these indicators, and like if you're the kind of person I am, you love the sound of language, the flow of language, the rhythm of language. You love the specific use of certain words. It's one of the reasons I like English humor. It's because they say the word bits all the time, and that was the funniest thing to me as a kid. I was like, oh my god, nobody's ever said bits to me before. Like
bits specifically meaning what?
Just
genitals?
Like anything. Okay. Anything, like a bit of this, a bit of that. We don't use it here.
Don't use the word bit.
Not in the same to the same extent that the English do.
I'll have a bit of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't
really
say that.
Fucking delightful to me.
Bit.
That's why I was obsessed with it. And my mom's an Anglophile, so at the same time, like this shit's pumped in your brain.
Sure.
So it's the sound of language. It's all these things that make you. It could be any random thing. For some idiots, it's seeing somebody get hit in the dick, and they think that's comedy. And then
so many of the sketches which involve Rowan Atkinson are absolutely brilliant. And this is pre-Blackadder. This is before the first season of Blackadder. Richard Curtis actually wrote on Not the 9 O'Clock News. I don't know if that's where
I did not know that.
First met. Yeah, and it was put together by John Lloyd, who then went on to do Blackadder and QI and all sorts of stuff. I mean, all sorts of stuff doesn't even cover it. He's one of the most influential producers in British comedy, and I snagged him for my own podcast a couple of years ago.
Did?
It's quite an interesting episode. He's got lots of stuff to say about... he co-wrote The Meaning of Liff with Douglas Adams. Now, did that make it over here?
No.
Okay, American... No. If you've not... Sorry, Englishness. If you haven't heard of this, you're definitely going to love this. There's a book called The Meaning of Liff by Douglas Adams, writer of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Co-written with John Lloyd, although when I spoke to John about it, he was explaining that he did next to nothing. He basically hit Douglas with a stick and made him do his deadline.
Sure, makes sense.
So the premise of the book, this is so wonderful, is, if you're an Anglophile, you're going to love this. The premise of the book is there are loads of words out there that there aren't words for. There are loads of things out there that aren't words for. Okay. So it's like a glossary of observational comedy, just little ideas. That feeling when you... I'll explain once I've explained the second half of the concept. And they said there's also a load of words there lying around on signposts, not meaning anything, names of places. So they've got the most ludicrous sounding place names. This is
killing me. Hold on. Somebody has brought this up, and they just didn't tell me the name of it.
It's called The Meaning of Liff, because there's a place called Liff.
Where did this come from? That's fantastic.
So they take all of these names, and then they use them to... they kind of give them words. So, for example, not all of them are in the UK. They're all from all over the world. So, for example, when you have one book left and it fits perfectly into the bookcase, it is said to fit real nice and Kentucky. Do you know what I mean? But it works on every level. The word is funny and silly. The observational comedy idea is a really strong idea. Like the experience, I can never remember the name of this. It's something to do with Kirby. But the experience of brushing something off someone's face and realising it's actually part of their face is like a Kirby non-Grove or something like that. I can't remember the exact one. And it's just wondrous. So John Lloyd wrote it with him. So John Lloyd wrote on the Not the 9 o'clock News, and as did Richard Curtis. And so this Richard Curtis, of course, went on to write on Blackadder and on The Young Ones with Ben Elton. But the point I was making, I've run off with myself again. Everything Rowan Atkinson says is funny. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And you can hear he's so young in this. He's got to be like 26 or something.
Oh my God.
And everything he says is funny. And you can see some of the ideas for some of his characters that then began, or that then became, he has a solo album in which Angus Deaton plays all of the straight men in all of the different sketches. And he's always called Perkins. He's always called Mr. Perkins or Bishop Perkins or whatever. And Rowan Atkinson has some incredible kind of set-piece comedy skits where it's like, it's him being the teacher reading out the... Are you familiar with that one? He's reading out all the pupils' names. There's one where he's an Indian waiter in a curry house, and he's being patronised. He's taking being patronised by drunken English louts really well. Do you know, there's all these... Oh, and just
God,
wonderful.
that's fantastic sounding. Okay. My God. Yeah, he's so delightfully arched that it's perfect to hear like a bit of like an angry punk there,
yes,
you know what I mean? I mean, maybe technically a bit old to be a punk, but you know, it's still like, it's, look at
he's
the cover
not really
of this one.
Yeah,
it's very punk looking, but like there's a lot of like really wonderful social satire on this too that makes me so happy.
I mean, not all of it is. It's a lot of it isn't all that edgy.
No.
One of the sketches, the hi-fi shop, when Mel Smith is this poor bastard
so
coming
much.
into a hi-fi shop who doesn't know how it works, and it's such a beautiful kind of historical artifact because you could write exactly the same sketch today with the internet or smartphones or what have you. It's just an older guy who doesn't know the terminology going into a shop and being brutally patronised by Griff Rhys-Jones and Rowan Atkinson, are the people in the shop who are just making him jump through hoops going, do you want woofers and tweeters with that? And he's like, no, I don't want stupid things like woofers and tweeters. You get them whether you like them or not, mate. They're in the speakers. And he goes, do you want this? He goes, yes. Do you want that? Do you want this? Do you want a bag on your head? Yes. You know, and they're just like squirting mayonnaise and putting a bag on his head. But yet the rhythms of speech that Rowan Atkinson used are just so wonderful. I mean, you think of his later stuff in Blackadder, where he's like, I'll be more out of breath than an asthmatic ant carrying heavy shopping. And he just would over-enunciate anything.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't seem to be over-enunciating him because it just suits his face so much that you imagine he would speak like that.
Right.
It's just fantastic.
Oh my God, I'm trying to remember. He doesn't really do that in the first series of Blackadder, does he? Because
they hadn't really
weird whiny little.
Yes, if you just watch the first season, you would think, oh, okay, yeah, fine, fair enough. It's a bit weird and bleak and sad and some. Well, not sad exactly, but like I remember it being a bit bleak. I remember some episodes sort of ending with he gets killed or someone else gets killed, and it just sort of the camera just looks at the scene, and then the episode ends.
It's over, right?
Yeah, it's very peculiar.
Then they find his prickish character in the.
Yes, it all comes together in Blackadder the Second. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
Do you? So you pulled this out of your parents' collection? Sounds like.
Yes.
Hedgehog Sandwich.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have? Maybe you've already said it, but do you have a favorite track on the album? We can start there. You're looking at it right now.
I'm looking at some of them. I realise now I haven't. My little cheat sheet is not fully loaded.
Oh no, I have it here. If you
the Creed is so funny. The Creed from the new revised version of the Book of Common Prayer. I still remember sections of that. It's like all these things that I believe in, and he's like, I believe in the Surrey Panther, copper bracelets for rheumatism, and it's all just beautifully spoken together at the same time. That's rather charming. Not the Parrot sketch is a wonderful Shaggy Dog story of a sketch. The Aid, where this is another Reagan one, where Rowan Atkinson is being the sort of now what would be the word, the PR officer, and he's interrupting everyone as they're trying to question the president will not be responding. It's him doing an American accent again.
Yeah,
but I think if not pulling it off, then at least pulling it off for comic effect. Do you have the track list?
I do.
Because I think there's one on the second bit. Here we go.
I mean, you don't have to keep it on the stand. It's just
there's some
fun.
great songs on there. Oh my
god! Yeah.
Some really good. What's the England My Leotard? It's a Kate Bush parody by Pamela Stevenson. She's phenomenal, brilliant melodic singer as well. The Barry Manilow one again. That's Rowan Atkinson doing a medley of Barry Manilow pastiches called Wet and Lonely. I can still sing that word for word. It's ridiculous. And I'm rubbing my eyes, rubbing your thighs out of my mind. Talk about English. God.
What was the format of the show? Because I honestly didn't know from listening to the app, because what we have are traditional sketches. We've got, obviously, the fake news interludes.
Yes,
like
little one-liner ones, like Margaret Thatcher as, what she did? She blew on a birthday cake and lit all the candles. She did just little one-liner.
Yeah. And then songs. Was the format of the show pretty consistent, or was it just whatever the fuck they felt like?
I think it was sort of like that. Well, just as you say, it was just bits and pieces. It was a sort of fun mishmash of different bits and pieces. I mean, I had the album. I don't think I ever watched the show. It's funny, we're going back on YouTube and seeing some. Yeah, because I didn't have access. It would already have been on TV by the time I saw the album.
Yeah,
you can't go back and rewatch it ever.
Yeah.
I think I maybe got a VHS in 1990 or something. Maybe I'd have got hold of a VHS, or they played some on TV again and I taped it.
Or coughing without due care and attention.
If you say so, sir.
Yes, I do say so, savage. Didn't they teach you anything at training school?
Oh, sorry, sir.
Some of these cases are just plain stupid. Looking at me in a funny way. Is this some kind of joke, savage?
No, sir.
And we have some more here. Walking on the cracks in the pavement. Walking in a loud shirt in a built-up area during the hours of darkness. And walking around with an offensive wife. In short, savage, in the space of 1 month, you have brought 117 ridiculous, trumped-up and ludicrous charges.
Yes, sir.
Against the same man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just didn't want to bring Monty Python along. Everyone must bring Monty Python along.
Believe it or not as often as you'd think. And there are times when I've been surprised, because I had no idea, like, for instance, that the Holy Grail album is a sketch album on its own, not just clips of the movie. I had no idea how heavily sketch-oriented that is.
Well, they used to... I don't know that I've even heard that one, but I had the final rip-off.
Yeah.
And I had
that's
Live
amazing.
at Drury Lane.
Oh, yeah.
And even the final rip-off, where the way it's presented is we're squeezing this for as much money as possible. It's still full of quite original content.
yeah.
There's loads of little, the interstitial stuff's great.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And I mean, it's a way of weaving in a lot of the classics with shit that I had only, actually until recently, some of it I realized, oh fuck, I've only heard it on the final ripoff. I had never seen Pet Shop or anything on the show.
Yes.
There are a bunch that I had
or
never
what's
seen.
the song they do on the final ripoff? The How Sweet to Be an Idiot.
Is
that Drury? No, that's Drury
No,
Lane.
I don't know that one. Yeah, I don't think I
Yes.
know that one. Wow, you just blew my mind.
How sweet to be an idiot and dip my brain in joy. Children laughing at my back with no fear of attack. As much imagination as a toy. It's startling. I think it
Holy
might.
fuck.
I don't even know who sings it. It doesn't sound like any of them. Maybe it was on the Drury Lane album
That's fantastic.
where they had someone standing in for Graham, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really beautiful little song.
That's awesome. My God.
Imagine that. More stuff out there.
Yeah, I know.
More stuff.
It fucking hurts my
Collect
brain.
the stuff.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I understand the reticence to want to talk about Monty Python, but I mean, this is fun. This is like a very fun album, and it was something that I feel like it's accessible. I think it is accessible mostly because of, at least if you only recognize Rowan Atkinson. Although most people over here, I don't want to assume everybody's an idiot, but I do assume most of them only know him from Mr. Bean, because that's the thing that most people over here are going to associate him with.
Mr. Bean story, which
you do.
I will. Well, I'll tell you this, and then I'll tell you the secret fact about the story. So, I'm sure I was told this at a party, and I immediately started telling it to other people, thinking, "Oh, it's absolutely brilliant! I've just heard this; it must be true." Which is that apparently, because Mr. Bean, I think is he the highest paid comic in the world?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it wouldn't, would it? There's, you need to, because it's silent, isn't it? It's not going to, unless it's Jackie Chan, maybe.
Sure.
He's enjoyed in any country, but a lot of people wouldn't regard him as a comic, wrongly. So I heard that Rowan Atkinson had licensed Mr. Bean for release to every country. It's globally everyone gets it, apart from Italy, so that he could go on holiday in Italy without being famous. Now, here's the extra secret thing about the story. I know for a fact it isn't true because I said it to my friend Becky Dell at a party, and she knows his agent and texted me 2 days later and said, by the way, that isn't true. Thanks a lot, Becky Dell. I say to you now, as I said to you then, it doesn't matter whether it's empirically true.
It's a great story.
It's such a good story that I'm going to keep telling it to people as if it's true.
Oh my!
What a wonderful idea. As if you would have like, in order to have the foresight for that to be the case.
Yeah.
You must have known that it was going to be globally. You know what I mean? It can't be true. It can't be true. But it's a beautiful idea.
Sounds wonderful. Mike, he must have just gobs of money. See, here's the problem. You're English, and I just said gobs. This is like I can't. Gobs of money, even though gobs.
I understood from the context.
You understand, but you've never heard gobs of money. But in my brain, I'm thinking gob, mouth. And then I'm thinking that.
Oh, yeah.
My brain's going through a lot.
We get a lot of Americana. I've read everything Stephen King's ever written.
Have you?
So I'm familiar with an awful lot of American, because he's very good at writing for different voices in America.
You could be more American than I am. That's fine. I'll accept that.
I'd be caught out on some sort of Inglourious Bastards, like the equivalent, that 3 fingers with a thumb that Germans do.
Right.
You'd catch me on something, I'm sure. Like, you'd catch me on something like 4:15, rather than... 4:15 to you is 3:45 p.m., is it?
Yes, right.
Yeah, so
right.
I'd say 4:45.
Right. Oh, did we get... No, I'd say 3:45.
Would you? Who's this quarter of? Is that not... Maybe that's Canadian.
Maybe Canadian. Canadians are weird.
I thought Yanks said that.
Canadians are great, though. That's fine. It's okay.
They are inoffensively wonderful.
Yeah, delightful. Can we... Okay, I want to keep talking about the album.
Sure.
But I also do want to point out that you're my favorite podcast interviewer on the planet.
Oh,
you interview so many people... You've exposed me to a bunch of people.
I've been got here under false pretenses.
Yes.
I thought I was just some guy to you. Thanks, dude.
Honest to God, you guys should listen to The Comedian's Comedian. We'll let you pimp it at the end, but I just want to make sure people do listen to it because
thank you.
Colin Anderson at Maximum Fun, he's like, I can't believe I've just heard of this podcast, and I think he posted your Matt Lucas interview.
Yes.
And I was like, holy fuck. Like, it just like you do the thing that I think people get annoyed when I do, which is you'll chop apart comedy to the point where people might get afraid that it's no, people get so afraid of chopping it apart. Why are you cool doing it?
I'm not afraid of silence because I am a comedian myself and I know what silence sounds like.
Sure.
What I try and do with the podcast is I try to ask intelligent questions and then shut up and listen, which I'm not saying anything about your podcast. But we all know, you know what I mean? If the thing is, who's going to interview a comedian? If it's not a comedian, then they're not going to know exactly what questions to ask.
Sure.
But if it is a comedian, then 99.9% of the time, they're going to want to riff and do their own material and be funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't ever describe yourself as humble, but what I mean is, like, I'm confident enough in my own comic ability. Like, I go out and gig every night, and that's where I get the laughs from. I don't need to get laughs on the podcast, so I'm comfortable being quiet. So actually, I mean, this is me looking back on 5 years worth of podcasting and going, yeah, I guess that's what I do. I didn't set out to do this, but I suppose what I like doing is, I'll say to someone, and I'm interviewing Tim Minchin at the LA Podfest this weekend, which is why I'm in town.
God,
you've got to tell me how big his profile is over here, because I don't know. I don't know whether anyone's going to come to the thing, because I don't know if anyone knows who Tim Minchin is over here.
I think people appreciate how massively important he is in terms of... I think so. I mean, I do.
So.
In my circles,
he lives here now. He has an office in DreamWorks.
Does he really?
Yeah. He's working on he's scoring and writing an animated thing for DreamWorks called Larrikin, I believe.
Speaking of the richest people in the world. Continuing. But I assume so.
Yeah, so something I would like to do to Tim, who is a brilliant... brilliant! What a profundity of material and incredible timing, amazing. He's a great, concert pianist skill. But I want to challenge him on things. That's what I enjoy doing about the show. When I can say to someone, "Why did you do this like this?" and they say, "Oh, it's like that," and I go, "I don't think it is," and they go, "Oh, hello," and I go, "Yeah, because actually you tend to do that, don't you?" And then I clam up, and they go, "Yeah, well, I don't think so," and then I just look at them, and then they go, Well, I suppose you could like that. What do you reckon? And then I keep looking at them. Yeah. So I don't know. I really appreciate that you like the show. I'm very proud of it. It's very hard. I was going to say it's very hard for me to talk about why it might be good. I realise I've just done that for a few minutes. What I'm saying is I'm realising now that I'm blowing my own trumpet, and I've only got the one trumpet, so I don't like to overblow it. But yeah, I'm really proud of it, and I like. I said this in one interview, like a newspaper interview a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still sort of ruminating on it. It sort of slipped out, but I do think, in my arrogance, that the point of the podcast used to be to find out how people write their jokes.
Sure.
And it quickly moved on from that. And now for a long time, the point of it was, who are you? Who are you really? What's it like being you? And now the point of the podcast is, I try to find out what's wrong with my guests, and I try and help them, but I don't do that explicitly. I just try and work out, like, what are you running away from? What are you running towards?
Yeah.
What is it what is this? What is satisfying you or not satisfying you about your work at the moment?
Right.
And then I try and nudge them towards that. And I don't know why. I don't know what gave me the right to do that to people.
I love that idea, though, that at least you know that the theme of your show is evolving, and you can identify what it's evolved into and from. But I guess what I'm the thing that I like that you do is that so many people say you ruin comedy by talking about it. I disagree. Respectfully.
Do you mean so many people say that one ruins comedy or do you mean so many people say that I, Stuart Goldsmith, ruined comedy?
See, the Englishman corrected my English. And
no, I just wanted to know. Whether you meant so many people behind my back have been saying.
Everybody's like, Stuart Goldsmith, what a fuck. He just keeps. Do you know, destroying comedy.
I'm ruining comedy. I'm ruining comedy because I know of over 40 people who've started doing comedy because of my show.
Oh, fuck.
I know.
That's a responsibility nobody needs. Not a stand-up, no. I'm a comedy writer and an actor, but I will not get up and do that shit. It scares the fuck out of me.
But if you were getting up and doing that shit, you would not be pleased to hear that someone had helped. I mean, I'm not going to say create, but certainly nudged another 40 fucking mooks.
Right.
You out there, you mooks. You know who you are.
I do... that one can ruin comedy by speaking about it. Yes. And I disagree, respectfully. I do think that there are ways to break it down and still make it interesting and still, I could probably sit for an hour and break down my favorite joke, whatever that might be at the time.
Yeah.
Because that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes it any less interesting.
I don't think it kills it. It only kills it for a person who only wants a certain thing from that joke. If you just want to listen to that joke and laugh, fine, don't listen to the podcast.
Absolutely.
But if absolutely, I could talk about my favorite joke. The first joke I remember hearing was it's a playground joke, and the joke was, I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't swear. Oh, bollocks, I've left my fags in the pub. Right? I might have just, obviously, bollocks, you're familiar with that as a sort of English explosive swear word. Fags in the sense of a packet of cigarettes, and pub, a bar. I realised I've chosen the worst example. But I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't swear. Oh, fuck me, I've left my fags in the pub. And I could talk about that joke forever. There's nothing to it. All it is you're setting up the three things you don't do, and then it's like you're miming a window and stepping through it with one leg, and then just forgetting about the mime and walking through it with the other. That's just priceless to me. I could talk about it all day.
No, absolutely. And I don't know. That's my favorite part of doing this shit is breaking down that stuff.
I believe in God. I believe in God, the Father Almighty. Or at least it stands to reason there has to be some sort of greater power. Like electricity sort of thing. And in Jesus Christ, who was obviously a fantastic bloke, and it's been proved historically that he actually did exist around that time, actually. Who was conceived by the Holy Ghost, born of the Virgin Mary. No, don't laugh. It could happen. After all, they can do it in a test tube these days. I mean, that proves it, doesn't it? The third day he rose again from the dead, a sort of reincarnation, if you like. Did you see that program on BBC Two? I believe in the Holy Ghost, telepathy, flying saucers, black magic. There must be something in astrology, gay liberation, the Loch Ness Monster, the abominable snowman, the Surrey Panther, copper bracelets for rheumatism, levitation, water divining, poltergeist.
You should ask Tim Minchin if he still doesn't consider himself a comic, because that drives me fucking nuts.
Yes, I would love to challenge him on that. Obviously he's a comic, but I have spotted him in other interviews. I think I'll tell you this now, and then we'll talk about this later after I've interviewed him and see how well this premise went down. But I suspect that he affects naivety in order. That's one of the things he does. That's one of the ways in which he does life. He said this to Karen Corrin on the documentary about him going to the Edinburgh Festival in 2005. She said, "Oh, now you're being naive," and he said, "Yes, I pretend to be naive. That's how I get information." And I thought, write that down.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's a comic, and I think, or was, I mean, less so nowadays, he's sort of scoring musicals and stuff, but they're funny. He's writing jokes and meaningful stuff.
Yeah.
I think calling oneself not a comic is sort of a way of protecting oneself from the implication that one isn't funny. So my angle on that would be, is that what you're doing? And then I just look at him.
I love very much that's your approach. I wish I could get to see you interview live, because I do want to see that happen.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can always live stream it at lapodfest.com using the discount code comedian. I've not told enough people about that, and I'm not going to be invited back to the podcast festival. It occurred to me very late on in the day. Oh, that's probably how the guys work out who's got the biggest social media following, and I should really have been hitting that a lot harder than I have.
I can't find a good segue back to the album. I'm being honest with you. Normally, I'm not honest.
I think you've just done a perfectly good segue.
Oh, okay, great. Wonderful.
As I'm fond of pointing out on my show, Woody Allen used to segue between material by going, however.
Yeah,
no, that's all you need.
Absolutely true.
My friend Joe Wilkinson, brilliant comic in the UK, during his stand-up sets, he would very often say, my stuff's got no links in between the bits, so I'll just say link. Link. And then he'll just do the next bit. Great.
Love it. Oh, if your material's good enough, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Too right.
The album. The album. Thank you so much for bringing us back down to I can't speak.
Come on, mate. We're perfectly. You linked back into it. We wandered off.
And then
I linked back into it.
It's because you challenged me on my English. Now I'm just totally
Now, here's a question. Will you leave this bit where we slightly flub it and you look at your notes? Will you leave this in the podcast?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Because the
I'm a big fan of that.
People have heard me. We're at almost. We've recorded more than 200 episodes at this point, and like in all of them.
I would shows Goldsmith and is casually mentioning how many episodes he's done.
25% of me of them have me at least once saying, "Oh, I had a brain fart," which is one of my least favorite phrases, but I use it anyway.
Like that expression.
Gross, but I say it. Yeah, it's not a good word. What do you prefer as an English one? What's your favorite?
Well, there is no good word for it.
No.
I say Trump because I say that around children. See, that's the only time you actually mention it.
Yeah.
Is if there's like my godson there, he's like 11 now, or now my baby. I'm like, have you trumped? And that's quite funny given the current awful, disgraceful political situation.
Sure.
I don't even say it. I mean, that is an awfully fucking twee. That is twee as fuck, isn't it? So Trump, but just the word fart is so. It's the perfect word for how unpleasant the idea is.
It is. Do you? Okay, so you didn't see that?
Oh, guff. That's even worse.
What?
That's like a school playground one. A guff.
I've never heard that.
He done a guff. Yeah.
Shit.
And that's awful.
Oh my god. Did you? Okay, so by the time you hear this album for the first time, what was your experience, if any, of Rowan Atkinson as a comedian or an actor?
Nothing whatsoever.
Nothing.
This was absolutely my first exposure to him and to. I suspect.
So you were 9, so it would have been about 86. So Blackadder didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you see Blackadder when it came out?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I loved it. Well, no, not when the first one I didn't. I probably got into it when Blackadder 2 was on TV. Or Blackadder the second, which I guess was. Now, which way round were they? Was that the one with Queenie, or was that the one with the Prince Regent?
Prince Regent.
So Hugh Laurie,
third, right?
Who you guys know as House. Which just isn't. I mean, it's known of in the UK, but it's not enormous.
No, of course not. I knew. Yeah, I won't claim that I knew him from the other stuff that much longer before it came out. But my mom did. My mom was like, "You should watch a bit of Fry and Laurie." I'm like, "I'll watch it later, Mom."
Oh my God!
The best sketch show that's ever been put together.
It almost certainly is the best sketch show. Bollocks! I should have brought this. Never had it on vinyl.
Madre.
Have you talked about that on your show before?
No.
A bit of Fry and Laurie.
We can't manage this since it was never released on vinyl. I just want to get Stephen Fry on the show. He's in LA right fucking now, and I need Stephen Fry on the show.
You are fucking kidding me.
I went to see. You see this prop? I'm sorry. We're going to. Okay, this is from a sitcom that I went to a taping of.
Yep.
It was a 5-hour taping. I went there because Stephen Fry is a co-star on the show. He wasn't in that night's fucking episode.
What's
so
the show?
It's called The Great Indoors. I have the thing up there, and it's only okay. I'm not trying to insult it.
Hang on a minute. I think I know
Joel
someone.
McHale is in it.
Yes.
You know someone who...
I think I know someone who's in it, or is that the program from last night?
Yeah, from the
Can I have a quick look? Because I feel like someone is writing on it.
Who wrote on it?
The English lady.
There's an adorable English lady in the show, and then there's Stephen Fry, who is... I watched the pilot. They showed us a pilot. He's great in it. He's the best part of it.
I love a bit of Joel McHale.
Oh, yeah. No, he's fucking fantastic.
McHale. And this doesn't tell us... Oh, it does tell us the...
There might be some information on it. And by the way, folks, if you're listening, I'm not insulting
Alex
the show.
Edelman, there we go. Yes,
Alex
my friend.
Edelman.
So he's an American comic, and
okay.
but I know him from the UK.
Okay,
that's him.
And he's writing on the show.
He writes on the show.
Shit.
He is a staff writer.
Oh wow! See, that's not bad. Well, I for the sake of people putting together the show got better as I watched it, but then again, it was a 5-hour taping.
Oh God, no! I mean, no one's going to enjoy a 5-hour taping.
So, but
you can row that back. It's fine.
But I there's no Stephen Fry. So
There's no
that's
Stephen.
fuck.
So is he? So he's not a regular character. He's a special guest.
He
He's a regular-
from what one of the people there told me, he signed up for 6 of the 12 that they're doing for this season, and I fucking rolled the dice and missed it.
What's the premise of the show?
The premise of the show, this is great. We're doing some PR for a fucking show that's not on the air yet. The premise of the show is that Joel McHale he works for a nature and hiking magazine that is obviously, magazines are going, they're no longer existent. So we just have the website now, and his boss / mentor is Stephen Fry.
Okay.
And he's just coming back and having to deal with all these millennials. Stephen Fry's already used to it, and that's basically it.
Gotcha.
It's a lot of anti-millennial stuff, which is
Nice.
some of it's okay.
Alex
but it's
Edelman is 100% millennial, so he'll be writing
okay.
millennial stuff. Yeah.
I probably saw him on the floor then. One of the people I saw on the floor had to have been him because everybody was out.
So this is a 5-hour taping of a sitcom.
5 hours.
So did you have a comic doing warm-up? Did you have a studio warm-up?
And he was great.
And he did
is
5
great.
hours.
5 fucking hours. Making people
Jesus.
dance and it was great. He did a wonderful job. That's the only reason I could stay awake.
Okay, he was making
Nothing
people
against
dance.
the show, but you're doing 22 minutes.
Did you get his name?
Yes, I did, and I'm an asshole for forgetting it.
Ah,
'Cause I've seen him do
warm-up
warm-up
is
before.
thankless.
It is. I've
It's
seen him.
thankless.
I did invite him onto the show for what it's worth. So I did email him at Roger. Oh, he knows his last name's impossible to
Federer.
remember.
No,
Oh,
that's
that
the
was
only
my
one I...
first
Ramjet.
thought, too. I almost said Roger Federer, too. Yeah, we're slightly off topic. Back and forth, back to Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry.
Blackadder.
Yes, he was
Hugh
Melchett.
Laurie and House, yes.
And
right.
Hugh Laurie was the Prince Regent in a different series.
Yes.
And Blackadder was fantastic.
Yeah, so that's where we were. I was an extra on House for what it's worth. That's all that matters.
What was your role?
We're really getting off topic. I was what do you call an orderly? And then just some random guy in the hallway who got walked by. And
disorderly.
Disorderly. Yes, and then when Hugh Laurie walked by me, I was just like, "Holy shit! I just got walked by."
So tall.
He's incredibly
Who
tall.
knew he was that tall? I had no idea.
So good, so handsome,
So good and tall.
and funny.
But we have to convince your listeners to go and download or somehow find on YouTube a bit of Fry and Laurie.
It's on Hulu right now. It's on CISO. You can get both. You can get it on both of those.
Literally never
It's
heard of
the
CISO.
best sketch show that's
It's just
ever
two
existed.
genius level comedians.
Yeah.
Who also have been best friends since university.
right.
Just spanking out an incredible, some of the. Have you read the scripts?
No.
There's a book of the scripts I had. One of them is there's a sketch that takes place in a shoe shop, and the actual I read the script and I went back and was like, oh god, they are doing that. Stephen Fry's in the shoe shop, and the first line of script in italics of stage direction, it says internal shoe shop. Stephen is behind the counter, polishing the back of his hand for no other reason than that it is screamingly funny. And he's literally standing behind the counter with a bit of cloth, and he's just polishing the back of his hand.
I never noticed that detail watching
man.
that fucking sketch. Oh my good god, that is so brilliant. I didn't know there was a book of the sketches out there.
Yeah, that's definitely worth
Fuck
getting.
me. That is a sorry, we're gonna be on this tangent for a minute. That is a weird Renaissance period for the two of them because at some point they were doing that and Jeeves and Wooster at the same time. And while they didn't write Jeeves and Wooster, it is still delightfully funny, and watching them together is always good.
Yeah, really, obviously
about the
brilliant
same period
chemistry.
of time.
I think yes, Jeeves and Wooster. I remember seeing that and going, "Oh, is that?" Oh, I thought it was like a sort of trailer and was hoping it was more Bit of Fry and Laurie.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it
The
doesn't have
opening
same
credits
energy.
to the second or third season of Bit of Fry and Laurie was done like a perfume advert in kind of like a black and white pretension. That's it. I hate you, and yet I hate you.
so good.
Yeah, they look great.
And just the way I think this is actually Stephen Fry's been on my mind because you were talking about the Douglas Adams book. There are few people who can do with language what Stephen Fry does, and it's so upsettingly good.
Yeah.
The line "Hold the news waiter's nose squarely, waiter,"
Or friendly milk will countermand my trousers.
Yeah.
Oh my god! What a great
One of the
that-
best lines ever written.
That joke is about the fact that that every sentence has been said, or that that
you
sentence.
can guarantee that you can almost certainly guarantee that it hasn't been said.
That
as part
sentence
of it.
has never been said before.
Yeah. Market for me, Taika. One of my favorite bits ever. Anyway, I said bits. See what's happening? This is
but bits is acceptable in comedy.
It is?
in
It
comedy
is.
parlance in the
It
States.
is. Yeah.
You said what about my old 78, didn't you? No, I didn't, honestly, no. All right. So, you got your deck. Do you want a Dolby with it?
Yes, please.
You only get Dolby's with tape recorders, Chief, all right? Do you want an amp?
No, I won't.
You won't hear anything, Grandad, without an amp, I'm afraid.
So, of course, yes, I want an amp.
Yes, an amp.
Yes.
All right, what sort of output are you looking for?
What sort have you got?
No clues.
About medium?
How many watts exactly?
Oh, I should think about 3. No, 2,000. 500. 30.
30. So you know all about it now, do you? You want a 30-watt amp?
A 30-watt amp.
Do you want speakers?
Yes.
Do you want rumble filters?
Yes.
Do you want a bag on your head?
Yes.
All right, let's go back to Blackadder, if that makes sense. So that's the first time you're seeing Rowan Atkinson.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And Tony Robinson,
Yeah, of course.
who then got out and got into the archaeology business.
That's so weird.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I know he's got
it's a
the
great little
education, but-
sideways move, isn't it?
Yeah. That's
You know, you're
fantastic.
super famous. You've done really well. You've made a load of money. Do you want to run around being an actor still, having to get cast in stuff? No,
Right.
you want to go.
Got
Actually,
that.
my passion is dusting bones in a pit. Yeah, good for him, man. That's great. I love a sideways move. Didn't Kim Wilde? You remember Kim Wilde?
I
She was
don't.
Oh no! Do you know? I thought you'd know her simply because her biggest hit as a pop star in the UK was called "The Kids in America." There's nothing to suggest it was ever
I
ever
don't know
got
her
big
then.
here.
So what did she do?
She was a busty pop star who then did a brilliant career 90-degree turn and became. I think she started doing gardening programs. I love it. People are like,
So
look,
good.
just because I was, I think either people wield a bit of fame that they have in order to go, well, I can do
Right.
what I want now
Right.
because I'll definitely get a bit of PR for the beginning of the thing, and you can set something up.
Yeah.
Like what's her name, Sarah Beanie. There's a woman called Sarah Beanie in the UK who started off as a property developer on TV, and then she did a 90-degree turn and started a dating site called MySingleFriend.com, which the premise of which is that your friends sign you up to it, and they write your. It's a great
my
idea.
God.
What a great! Why aren't we doing that? Why
That
aren't you
is
doing that in the
pretty
States?
That is pretty fantastic.
We post dating sites. Is it all Tinder now over here?
I don't know.
No, you're married.
I'm a married man.
I'm in a long-term
man.
relationship.
Right. We have no idea what's going on. You see it? Do you understand people why I want to move to England though? Because you can have this thing and then have a gardening show. I'll have a fucking gardening show.
Yeah.
I'd love
You
to
could
do
take
that.
a 90-degree turn and do a podcast about
Some
climbing walls.
funny Americans do okay over there. Rich Hall might be the one.
Yeah.
Or there's another one. I'm sure there
Alex
are other.
Edelman
Okay.
turned up, rocked it for 3 years, won an award.
Matt
fucked
LeBlanc
off.
is hosting Top Gear.
Matt
Is that still
LeBlanc
happening?
is hosting Top Gear.
Is that happening? Did you see Peter Serafinowicz do his theme for his idea?
No,
for
I didn't. But everything Serafinowicz does is brilliant.
It's the best thing in the world.
The
and you
title
should-
of
you
his
need to
book,
watch it.
he released a book of his jokes from Twitter, and the title of the book was 1 Billion Jokes, brackets volume 1.
He's a god. Did you? Okay, let's for not the 9 o'clock news. This is something you listen to. You are inserting your own ideas of what's happening into it. Is there an influence to your comedy now? I mean, you're not a sketch comedian, but I mean, is there a noticeable influence?
I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to find one, to be honest. I think the other LP, the other record I remember having as a kid around, I say around the same time, would have been several years, maybe 8 years later. I mentioned when we spoke was Lenny Live and Unleashed, which was a Lenny Henry album.
Right.
And Lenny Henry certainly, if he doesn't, if there's nothing discernible of his in my style as a comic, he's sort of the first stand-up that I remember ever listening to. And I think there's something certainly in the fact that I'm a stand-up is partly due to falling in love with that album and playing it over and over and over and over again. And so even then, I mean, there's very little between us.
Sure.
There's no
Yeah.
huge similarity in style or content or anything. But certainly I'm sure there's a basic way in which I see the world. My basic understanding of what stand-up is informed by listening to that album over and over again.
And you are starring in the remake of Bernard and the Genie, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, that would be handy.
Alan Cumming is coming back to reprise his role. That is a deep cut, and I don't even remember if that was any good. Something my mom made me watch. Lenny Henry. I don't even know his stand-up, honestly. I just know him as an actor.
He had loads of he did loads of characters. He had a very elderly Jamaican man called Deacus, who was a sort of pork pie hat wearing, white fluffy bearded Jamaican guy. He had Delbert Wilkins, who was a pirate radio DJ, who then went on to have his own spin-off series, the Delbert Wilkins Show.
Wow.
And his catchphrase was "Spondicious." I mean, it's so funny. Out of context, this all just sounds so nonsensical. But that was very funny. His other characters, he did a routine which I'm sure I remember word for word ish. I don't remember the name of the character, but he was like an irate person. It was like a sort of a distillation of alternative comedy in the late 80s in the UK, whereby you would be incredibly angry about a completely mundane thing.
Okay.
So I remember him doing, and you'll forgive the accent here, right? Lenny Henry is black. I don't think me taking off his accent is racist because I'm doing a specific person.
Sure.
So that's my angle. But he would go, "Cat flaps! Cat flaps! How come cats have the monopoly on flaps?" And he'd just get absolutely incensed about it. He'd say, "A little spider does not have a little spider flap. A dog does not have a dog flap. I do not have a man flap." And the routine ended, "Take your cat and your flap and bugger off." And in retrospect, it was probably sort of a satire on angry alternative comedy.
Yeah.
But cat flaps, God, it made me laugh.
I can only imagine. I mean, there are these little, I mean, it's so funny because I asked that question kind of fully knowing, and I've asked it of a lot of people, fully knowing that people usually can't identify a specific thing. It's not like you're going out of your way to imitate the first stand-up you ever heard, but it is always interesting, the shit that stands out, when you decide to do stand-up.
I suppose it's less of a style and more your basic understanding of the territory.
Yeah.
In the same way that my basic understanding of a relationship will be informed by my first girlfriend.
Sure.
And every other relationship from them will be different to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do,
It'll be
yeah.
a new experience, and it will also, in some way that I don't even notice, I'm sure that, I'm continuing to justify the position you'd already made perfectly clear, Jason.
No, it's good. I just appreciate you filling the
Great
air.
surname, Jason.
Yeah.
Klamm.
Well, it's pronounced Klamm, but
it's less good now. Sorry.
No.
Klamm.
Here's the thing, though. It does mean moist.
How does it in German?
It's ravine, but also moist.
Ravine and moist.
So clammy.
Typically
so
German.
It is. So I think it's where clammy. It's where clammy. I
so
think comes
efficient,
from.
aren't they?
Yeah.
People, you can get two meanings out of this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's everybody thinks it's clam. It's okay.
Okay,
Close
the first time I said it out loud
Mm-hmm.
was to my friend today. What's the guy's name? It's ladies on the comedy circuit, Anastasia Travers
Mm-hmm.
here. She was in the UK for a while, which is where I know her. I'm stopping with her over these couple of nights, and she said, "Who's this guy you're seeing?" And I said, "Oh, he's called Jason Klamm." And she went, "Haha, good one." And I went, No, I think that's... oh, yeah, you're right. It sounds like clam, like a clam, but it's not. It's Klamm, and it's got a K and two M's.
Yeah.
So it's more like blam than it is clam.
It really, yeah.
It's a very dynamic surname.
I'll take it. I mean, I won't. I won't fight that. That would be silly of me to fight that. Do you have a reason to recommend this album to anybody who hasn't heard it, if they can find it?
Well, I think that's a really good question. Do I have a reason to recommend it, or is it just a case of me do I just feel passionate about it? Because for me, it's like a warm, you know what I mean? It's like a sweet and sour chicken, half rice, half chips. Oh, it's like when my dad used to come over from the Chinese. Oh, brilliant. So yes, I think you would definitely get some laughs out of it. A lot of it, it's. I think it has value as a piece of kind of a historical artifact. I think it would be amusing to Americans to listen to British people attempt American accents, sketches about Reagan.
It's great.
And I also think that definitely 4 or 5 of the sketches really stand up in a kind of anything with Rowan Atkinson in it, any of his stuff is funny. And I think definitely as a sort of floating sketch like the Hi-Fi Shop, I'm sure it's funny. I'm sure the obituary one is funny. I'm sure the bad language one is funny. Look up not the 9 o'clock news or NTONN, NTNON. That's the YouTuber's abbreviation for it. Look up bad language, not the 9 o'clock news, and give that one a try. And
I need
think
to actually watch them now.
Yeah, exactly. In a way that I never did.
Yeah.
I saw I was watching them today. I was revising, going, I've got to remember what these things were. And I watched a couple of them, and it was really funny to watch them. So that if you like the bad language one, then I would certainly recommend checking out the album.
When you first came to this school, we took you on account of a most entertaining essay you wrote about a parrot that belonged to your aunt.
Ah, yes, sir.
Since then, your progress has been disappointing. I have here your exam papers from this year. Let's take a look at the general paper, shall we? Question 1 was write an essay about perseverance.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember how you began this essay, Suter?
No, sir.
Read this, it'll help.
General paper, final exam, T. Suter, autumn 1980. Subject, perseverance.
Yes, get on with it.
My aunt, who I live with, has a parrot called Perseverance. One day...
Yes, and you proceed to tell exactly the same story you told when you arrived at this school.
Yes, sir.
Here's a slightly different one. History, question 5.
What was notable about the late 50s?
And your answer? My aunt, who I live with, used to have a parrot called 50s, who is now dead. The most notable thing about the late 50s was his enormous appetite.
Yeah, I'll just say from my perspective, my favorite is... Shit, what's it called? Give me 1 second. I believe it's called Sergeant Savage, if I'm not mistaken.
Constable Savage.
Constable Savage, of course.
Oh, yeah, and it's a policeman being quizzed on
good.
what obviously is his incredibly racist attitude, where it's just a list of this very... What works about it, I think, is that the policeman sounds so innocent when his sergeant major is accusing him of all this stuff, going, you've made numerous allegations against this one guy, you've locked him up for, for having an offensive wife. And a lot of it is to do with Rowan Atkinson, again, as the police sergeant, going, having an offensive wife? Yeah. Loitering within the hours of daylight in a built-up area, and then it becomes clear that the object of all of this policeman's arrests is, as Rowan Atkinson puts it, dare I take it that Mr. Kadogo is a coloured gentleman? And then Griff Rhys-Jones, as the policeman, goes, "Oh, I can't say as I've noticed, sir." He's so blind, he's very guileless.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, I mean it's a solid piece of work. It is still relevant. There's a number of stuff on this. Oddly enough, on this what should be a mostly timely sketch album that I think holds up, and I think it's really, especially those
yes,
couple bits
God, well, which just goes to show TV satire doesn't solve anything, does it? It's all the fucking same still.
Of course not.
Yeah, so much of this stuff, the presidential stuff, could be completely attributed to Trump. The stuff about, like we said, the hi-fi shop has just changed a few of the words, and it's exactly the same. So yes, isn't it?
I think that was
timeless.
Perfect to open this episode with. So I probably will do that.
Yeah,
it's perfect. Phonograph.
What's that, Grandad? A phonograph?
Oh my God. All right. What do you have to promote? Keep in mind this is probably coming out in a couple months.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I always forget to remind my guests that it's not going to see the light of day for some time. So what I can promote is if you go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from, you can find the Comedian's Comedian podcast, or you can go to comedianscomedian.com. And you can listen to whoever I've done recently. And as I would assume much of your audience is American, so I will list the most recent excellent American comics. I've had Bill Burr. Bill Burr and I, I'm not going to say we nearly came to blows, but we had a passionate disagreement about the nature of privilege. Absolutely worth listening to that one.
Wow, okay.
He doesn't believe privilege is a thing.
Interesting.
And I stood my ground for a bit.
Yeah.
No, I didn't, it's by no means a fist fight, and ultimately I'm not out to ambush anyone.
Sure.
So I did want to just give him the space to say what he thinks, but it was a really fun. It was a kind of a gnarly one. I've had Hannibal Buress, more recently Cameron Esposito, who's been on the show.
Oh, awesome!
Lewis Black, very recently as well,
so
and Brian Regan. I got Brian Regan for half an hour, and he is literally the nicest man I've ever met.
I can only imagine.
And it says wonderful, wise things about comedy and being nice and just getting on with it and doing your thing.
Yeah.
So there's loads and loads of American acts on there as well. Joe DeRosa, Chris Gethard has been on it recently. Recorded one with him in the Edinburgh Festival. Carmen Lynch And who else? These are all coming out. So by the time this comes out, these ones will have come out.
Yeah.
Plus loads of American comics, loads of English comics, some of whom have started making inroads over here. Jimmy Carr is one of the biggest comics in the UK, and he talks on the podcast about over here. He's an alt comic.
Yeah.
So he loves coming over here and being this
he does.
weird button-down English guy.
Yeah.
And I saw him at Montreal the year before last doing the Jeff Ross's roast battles, the roast master thing that was recently televised, I believe, for this year. And it's amazing to watch Dave Chappelle and Dave Chappelle's crew going off and brapping and going, "Whoa, Jimmy Carr!" about this guy from Hounslow near
Love
London.
it.
So that's absolutely worth listening to.
Jimmy Carr also has the greatest laugh in the history of comedy.
Yeah, I'll see if I can do
So fucking ridiculous. Makes me so happy. So what about Twitter? Did we do Twitter? I don't know if you said
Yes,
Twitter.
you can follow the podcast at ComComPod. You can follow me at Stu Goldsmith, but I warn you, I use Twitter very badly. I've really got to buck that up. My personal feeling is that I put out over an hour of original podcasting content every week. That's my connection to my listeners.
Sure.
I'm not going to fucking sit and write jokes on Twitter as well. I'm writing
Yeah.
jokes to do it. I'm not a Twitter guy. I'm not one of your tweeters.
Right.
I don't get round to it. I don't care about it enough, and my jokes don't work written down because they're not very good. I'm a sort of live charisma guy. I sort of convince you into liking me with my wiles.
People should sign up for your mailing list, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have downloaded one of your albums for free, which is fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, there's a couple. There's Princess Uncle Stew. That's my debut. That's available for free.
Oh, that's the one that I heard. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and then also you can get Extra Life for £3, which is like $5-ish, or more if you care to donate because you love the show and you want to support it. And I'll be releasing another 2 albums fairly soon.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Are they from Edinburgh? Or are they from?
Yes, so
okay.
I'll be releasing An Hour,
Yeah.
which is my evocatively titled show from Edinburgh Festival 2015, which I then toured in Britain for my debut tour. And I'm about to go on my second tour next spring, and that show is called... I mean, don't tell me I forgot what the show is. The show is... I've literally been doing it... I've had a baby. Leave me alone. The show is called Compared to What? And it is not entirely about becoming a parent.
Okay. I like that.
But it's nice. Hey, tell me what I should do. Someone from Conan came to see the show at Edinburgh.
Holy
and
shit.
they said, this is really good. You should come and do Conan.
Holy shit.
And Conan isn't really known in the UK.
Yeah, I
and
can
they said,
imagine.
we'll sort your visa out, but you have to pay for it, and it's £3,500 sterling. And I went, oh, if it was like no visa, I would bite their hand off.
Right.
But that's an incredible amount of money.
It
What
is
should I do? Is Conan, is that like a really...
Here? I mean,
It's
here's
huge,
the thing.
right?
Here's the thing. Yes. But it's like a very like... He's my hero. He's one of my biggest heroes.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
all
I'd do
time.
it just
So
to
you gotta
meet him,
understand-
right?
of
He used to
course.
write The Simpsons.
Yeah. Oh, he's a goddamn genius. And the thing is, like, he doesn't have the audience. He's cable now, right? But that said, there are 2 guys named Rhett and Link on YouTube who have more fans than anybody who's on, network TV right now. Worth it.
Rhett
yes.
and Link.
Rhett and Link. Yep, they do some goofy little shit on YouTube. They're very funny, but they've got like 2 million subscribers. There's nobody on TV, at least here, who's getting that kind of viewership. It just doesn't happen. I would say Conan, for me, I mean, again, he's a god. So yes, worth it. But that is an awful lot of money.
It's an awful lot of money.
I don't know what it means for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know
that's-
what
I don't
happens.
know what it
What
means.
happens for you if you do it? Yes, people will notice you. Yes, there'll be so many people over here who'll be like, oh, great, funny guy, wonderful guy. But
Yeah, I'll look him up next time I'm in the UK, maybe. Who
right,
knows?
you know,
I mean, but I
but then there are people here who are comics who just like, here's my big break on Conan, and I don't know what that equates to financially.
I don't think a big break on Conan. I don't know if that kind of big break on any show exists anymore. It's all portfolio, isn't it? Nothing's your big break.
Right.
And if I'm not, the thing is, if I did it and I then got the visa, it would be a great way to get the visa, which I believe lasts for 2 years. Maybe I could come over here a lot.
So wait, the way you have to do it now, you can't do it. You couldn't do it if they asked you to do it now because of the way you're traveling. Is that the way it goes? It's so fucking complicated the way you have to.
Yeah, I can't do it right now.
Yeah.
No. I can't work. I can't work over here. I'm just
That's
podcasting.
nuts to me. That's crazy. I would say it'd be worth it to meet him, but that's for me.
Yeah.
That's for me. He's a god. And watching his show live, fantastic.
Oh, is that? And they record in LA?
Mm-hmm. Right down the street.
Really?
Yes, I have a few friends on the show if you ever need to go see it.
What nights are they on?
They record Monday through Thursday, I think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So, next time. Next time you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it now?
So much
I'll
fun.
go down the street and queue and get into
There you go.
queue.
Yeah. Just see if you can sneak in.
Yeah.
No security after 9/11. That's fine. I'm just going to very quickly promote because it'll maybe still be out. Go to lookingforwardmovie.com. That is my mockumentary that is coming out one blog at a time. At the time that we're recording, it is at 8.5 hours. That is how much footage there is that you can watch. I'm not expecting you to watch it all.
It's 8.5 hours footage of a movie.
It's because they're all blogs. They're all blogs, and I'm going to cut them into a feature length next year.
Oh, wow.
And if you watch it, you're going to find some accidental and some purposeful parallels with Donald Trump. Enjoy. I did once say in the book that I wrote for this in 2008, I pride myself on my humility, and he recently said something not dissimilar. So you guys might enjoy it. Stuart, thank you for doing this show.
What about if you turned out to be eerily prophetic and maybe you are writing the future by making these blogs?
I hope so, because if this comes out, this will come out by then, my character will not win the election.
Perfect.
So,
so you can alter history. We're relying on you, Klamm.
Yeah, I know. And then at the end of that, but in my final blog, I'm supposed to accept my fate because for 12 years I've been doing this just ad nauseum. My very final blog is going to begin with me saying, "Hello, United Kingdom," because in 2020 I could run for PM. So that is basically how I'm going to end it, with a question mark. So anyway, go do that. Thank you so much for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a blast.
I've enjoyed it enormously.
That's it. But thank you guys for listening.
I do this at the end of my podcast all the time. I do admin, thank the guest, and nothing.
I do have a sign off at least, which
Go
I
on.
don't, have a good thing. That's it.
I liked it, but you can't say that's it afterwards, otherwise it's not a sign off.
All right. And as always, which I forgot to say earlier, have a good thing. And that's it. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of Stolen Dress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Warden and is hosted and edited by Jason Klamm. Our theme song was composed and performed by Richard Levinson. Please visit stolendress.com to listen to our other podcasts, read our blogs, read our tweets, watch our videos, and read our books. Please subscribe on iTunes, and if you like us, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. You can find us on facebook.com/comedyonvinyl, Twitter @comedyonvinyl, and find everything else at comedyonvinyl.com. A major portion of Comedy on Vinyl has been underwritten by Stand Up Records. Please visit standuprecords.com for all your comedy needs and tune into the new Stand Up channel available on the Roku, where you can also find select episodes of this podcast.